Bum 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 ba-dum. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? We are going to watch today the match of Valhalla against. Yeah, that's an odd bug. That should sort it out. King of Potatoes. Let me add some music here for us, and we should be good to go. So just some ambience. How is everyone doing in this night, day, morning, wherever you are? This is gonna be an interesting match, part of the Doomsday event here in State of Survival. We are gonna be able to see one of the 3 times champions, Valhalla, against King of Potatoes. It seems like in terms of participation, Valhalla is a little bit higher at the moment. They have 30 players, King of Potatoes 27. For those that don't know, this is one of the biggest events in State of Survival. The objective is to gain as much points as you can by gathering water. You can gather water in different ways. In this case, they're probably going to fight for a few of the buildings in the beginning of the game. Not all buildings open at the same time. There are different phases, different timers where things actually open. And it seems like I'm having a small issue of capturing things. And it, good thing is that the match didn't actually start, so... Okay, let's go. It is still not capturing. Seems like Valhalla is speeding up already for both of the buildings, and they captured both of the buildings. So... a minute to figure this out. You might have to reopen the game here. Give me a minute. Love technical issues. capture the whole stream. Like I'll have to capture the whole window. Add a capture. This should start out. Sorry for the delay and sorry for the issues. Right, seems like we missed the first 5 minutes. In the first 5 minutes, it seems that Valve was dominating two of the most important buildings right now, which are the treatment center and solar panel. The reason that they are focusing on these buildings and not the other ones is that right now, hi Andrew Erasure, welcome to the stream. So the reason that they're doing this strategy is because this strategy right now is the most efficient. The way that you win right now, Doomsday event is focusing in actually less buildings than usual. It's a different strategy that is being used in the current version, which is to focus on only the important buildings. The other buildings, even if they are being fought for in high-level competitive play, people don't go for them. Place top alliances. So right now we have Catzilla, your favorite cat here in the top, and content creator. We also have Damdulak holding another building here, and Tokugawa holding the solar panel. So these are probably the three buildings that Valhalla is going to be fighting for now. And the final building that they're probably going to be fighting is going to be the center building. This center building, it opens at the 15-minute mark, and whenever it opens at the 15-minute mark, it will start some fights over here. And during this event, the way that it works is that it have a few different stages where you have to fight for things. In the first stage, when it opens after the 3-minute mark, there are 3 minutes for everyone to join, you fight only for the external buildings. So these shoot, these shoot, these shoot, and these shoot. The focus right now in the strategy is to fight for both of these buildings right now, because these buildings are the ones that give you the biggest amount of points. Not only that, but they give you first occupation points. One thing that people don't know is that you get those first occupation points every single time that you do the first occupation. So you're only taking them once, and holding those buildings is one of the strategies that's being held, because then some of the water that is going to be taken from the top of it can probably be taken by the later parts of the match. The reason that solar is also important for this is the amount of time that it takes for you to occupy those buildings. As it takes a lot of time for you to occupy those buildings, reducing it by half, it can be super important to give time for your rallies to just go back in, and you can get the building back before the other people get the occupation points for the first time. At the 45-minute mark, phase 2 of the conflict starts, and you go to the center, and in the center, you have to fight for the biggest building that, in terms of points, gives you the biggest amount of number of points, and also gives you the biggest amount of points for occupation. So for a little bit, this is going to be a stable position. The red team, the King of Potatoes teams, is trying to fight actually for the other buildings that usually are not the most efficient way to gain points, which can be a mistake in the long run, as all those points can be removed from them. And the way that this works and why it actually have this reduced amount of points is the following. So right now, whenever you have a full occupation of a building, that occupation of that building will gather points. And those points, whenever you lose that building, they spill over all the areas around you. So what does this mean? This means that if you are not fast enough to capture those water spills after you've done that, what will end up happening is that you will end up losing the water that is within here, and your opponent may gain that water. And this means that not only you have to commit a bunch of troops to stay in those buildings, but also you will have to hold that building for that amount of time to be able to do that. And this is why it ends up not being as efficient as it may look, as gathering those buildings are going to give you a biggest amount of points, Plus, you're going to be able to hold those, and then you can reset those buildings eventually. Just like as I mentioned, there are a lot of water spillages here. You're going to see a few members just going and doing water gathering for the spillages. Seems like Val was able to capture all the water spillages from this building that right here was in resets. So they mitigated the damage that it would be for just losing this building. So if there a rally that already have been started right now by Catzilla here in the bottom part hits and takes back, the only thing that they have lost is the occupation time and the occupation points that have been there, and they have secured the points of all those spillages that have been before. Which is why this strategy can work in the majority of cases of most competitive play. The reason why those buildings here are not very smart is that if you go into those buildings that are in here, which you can check, like in the map here, there are only 3 members here, 5, 1, and 2. Even if they are gaining the occupation points, they can be easily soloed if they don't have a bunch of players in them. So what will end up happening if they do that is that they will be losing that spillage if not positioned properly, and that will take in from their points as well. So right now we will see the march from Catzilla hitting and taking the building, as you can see, due to them having higher stats and being able to take down the troops. Hi Trimin, how are you doing? We will have a code later on, so make sure to tell your friends to be here, because if they don't, they might miss the code. The codes are only 100 redemptions, so as they are only at 100 redemptions, it might be an issue if you are not here in the chat to redeem it. As you can see, it took them only 1 minute and 30 seconds to take back the building, and the opponent otherwise had to do 3 minutes. That is due to the solar power station. Right now, in 2 more minute mark, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, we will having the center open. The center will make things a little bit more competitive and interesting, as there will be more buildings being fought for. As I mentioned before, the current strategy only takes 4 buildings. As it only takes 4 buildings, those buildings are going to be fought for. These 2 buildings, solar panel and center. It seems, however, that the red team is not willing to fight for solar power station at the moment, so this will make it a lot easier for Tokugawa to hold it. Right now it seems like Colonel Qatar is actually fighting for against Virus in the top row. Colonel is one of the strongest players in the game, so I assume and I think that Colonel has a good chance with his team to take back Virus. But we will see what's going to happen in this march, because one of the biggest things that can happen is you not having enough behemoths. Here, as you can see, water spillage out, and it seems like all Valhalla players already repositioned themselves to gather the water spillage. And already we have another rally being started, in this case by Catzilla, against Colonel Qatar here. Yes, Tryman, one of Valhalla is one of the strongest players in the game, but it's not only about power, it is about organization. They are also one of the most organized alliances in here. The level of communication is peak, which means that they can fight opponents that can be technically stronger than them. You should be listening to my voice. You should be able to listen to my voice, I guess. At least I believe that it should be going through. Hi Marky, how are you doing? As if you mean no voice communication from the alliances, no, we are not listening to the voice communications of the alliances currently. And that would be kind of a bad idea for the alliances to allow you that. So Kono took back the building. Kono took a hit to the face from some Martian, was not able to hold it. That being said, also it seems that Monroeville also was fighting in the bottom part as well. In the second march from Valhalla, from No Lifer, they were able to take back from the building. And this, as they are holding solar panel, means that Kono is not going to be able to get his full points here. And people are going to start to move to the center. So we see a lot of players joining in and speeding up for the center. We have Hunter joining in right now. And this is going to make things more interesting, as right now there are going to be 4 instead of 3 buildings being fought most of the time. We do, however, have a few people joining this rally in here to see if it is going to. So Catzilla's rally is walking through Monroeville. From what I can see from the stats previously and the way that the rallies were started, Catzilla is probably going to be taking this. And Catzilla did take it. This means that they were not able to capitalize on the points for the first capture in this as well, and Valhalla is currently, even if only partially, holding all the buildings that are required for you to win. As they are going to capture this again, they're going to get a bunch of points for the full capture. And there you go, and Colonel is already starting another rally here against No Lifer. Virus is going to be holding the building. And Tokugawa will be controlling in 1 second, controlling the center, gaining a lot more points and being able to hold the building. So right now we are seeing these 4 buildings being fought for. Seems like Biohazard is just trying to not allow them to get these buildings specifically for getting the waves. And the next stage in this fight is going to start with the water tanks. The water tanks are small buildings that you can get to get some extra water. So the water tanks, they spawn at 3 different times in this stage of the game. They are at 36, 26, and 16 minutes. And they add a bunch of points in the match, and those points, what that means is that those points cannot, unlike these points here, be taken back with water spills. Looks like we're seeing Kono take back the building, and now they have, again, close to 30 minutes to 3 minutes to get full occupation. Seems like this time that that they got a few water spills themselves. All right, so now it seems like the King of Potatoes team is actually fighting back. And we have a few rallies here. So it looks like, at least for now, Red Team is not fighting for center. Due to the difference in stats, it seems like they're going for munitions and for the infected troops. So Evan City here is trying to hold. They need 30 seconds for full occupation. Catzilla Rally is marching though, so if Catzilla can kick them out, which I believe it will, then they will not have full occupation. Catzilla just did control it, and then this means that the points that were there were denied, and they can get another batch of free points from occupation. And now we will be going in the next 3 minutes for the next stage, which is occupying some of the minor buildings, which are the water tanks. Another good chunk of points here. And here is a catch that most people don't get in cases like this. As these buildings are being fought for, they have no water in them, besides the center building that has 3,000. That being said, all these points from the other buildings, like 4,500 here, 900 in this one, 4,000 in this one, 900 in this one, 4,000 in this one, all those points are up for grabs in the final part of the match. And what will be the strategy by the end of the match? In the last stage, whenever there is not a lot of water tanks to go through, what Valhalla will do in this case is going and organizing, seeing which one of them are least prepared, and running through them one by one. If they can solo, they will solo them. If they cannot solo, they will go through and do rallies, and they not in some cases people are not ready to despawn because they don't know which way they will go, and with that they will reset those points and have people ready to get those points back to their score. Do you guys in chat have any questions or anything you'd like to know? Feel free to ask in the YouTube right now, and we'll be free to answer. It seems like there is some fight for the solar power station again, because if Valhalla keep holding the solar power station, they can see that it's very hard for them to actually hold some of the other buildings. So the key strategy for Valhalla to be able to do the things that they're doing is holding the solar power station. Because due to the solar power station, it only takes 1 minute and 30 seconds. If you start the fastest rally possible, which is plus 1 minute plus walking time, that usually means that unless you do a perfect rally and you have all the joiners perfectly aligned and you do everything in there, you're not gonna have enough time to not allow the other people to control it. You have to have two players. The two players have to be in the perfect position and the double rally in some cases to keep the other players out. So one of the reasons why people are fighting only for two buildings is due to the behemoths. As you have to have behemoths in all rallies and you can only have behemoths in two rallies, this means that they can set up two teams and hold 4 buildings. And with that being harder to kick off. This means that the other buildings become less priority and you can get the points back from the spillage. So this means that it's not worth you fighting for the spillage in those cases. You can just take the spillage back in the end. Now in 5 seconds we are going to see the water tanks coming in. So the water tanks are showing up in the map right now. You can always find the water tanks in here. And then people are going to start fighting for them. We are going to be in the screen for a little bit, because we can check very quickly that some of these are going to turn to other colors. If Valhalla takes them, they are going to become blue. If King of Potatoes take them, they're going to become red. So right now we see 6 from Valhalla and 4 for King of Potatoes. There are 2 more to grab. One of them flipped here. And this is going to be the next point of impact for fighting. There are going to be smaller conflicts fighting for these. In some cases with some players assigned to burn the people that are in there alone, or to just kick people off while the other things are being fought. So this is the second to last stage of the event, with the last one being the consolidation, where you actually go through the places where have a bunch of water and take that water back with the spillage. So we do have Colonel starting another rally here. It's probably going to kick No Lifer again. Well, it seems that they're not fighting for this building where Damdulaka is. Hey, 180p, I can understand totally you being retired, but at least you can watch the game. Sometimes watching other people play can be as interesting as playing the game. The gameplay may be a little bit stale for other people, but it is interesting to see strategies and things being applied, in my opinion. I like a lot watching people doing high-level gameplay in any game. So No Lifer was actually able to take the full building. Now Colonel will fight in. Probably Colonel with the fight in is going to kick them off. It did. And then we'll start all over again with 2 minutes and 30 seconds for them to take back, and so on and so forth. The way that the match is going, even though that there's a difference in the score, if this keeps up this way, this is most likely going to be a Val win. If they can keep this rate of water tanks as they are, plus hold the amount of buildings that they have been holding, due to the fact that this is going to be reset, it's very unlikely for this to be turned around. So Tokugawa is pad in, as there were no people holding this. Red team tried to get in, but Tokugawa was faster. So Tokugawa is able to hold it for solo. We have a lot of players speeding in right now with speed up marchers. Colonel just pulled them off, and now we'll see a bunch of players teleporting. We'll see that a lot of players from Valhalla are getting the water spillages. And this is actually good for Valhalla to get all of these happening at this time. The reason for that is that now they reset the building with Catzilla here as well. And they have no water spillage. So they are holding as little water as possible in all of those buildings to make sure that they don't have a risk of holding and turning around. This will likely make things harder and maybe allow Colonel to get a full occupation here. So this was a good reaction move from King of Potatoes team. That being said, Valhalla was able to turn around this movement into their advantage at the moment. Because with that, they are able to actually hold this building back up with no water spillage on top of it. But as the rallies all moved out from this treatment center, they are going to be able to get full occupation in here. And there you go, Colonel has full occupation. Seems like we have some players here in the center. Moroville is starting to to join in. We have some Val players speeding up to fill the building. Moroville was able to take it. Looks like there are going to be some water spillages. And we do have some people from the red team getting some water spillages and taking some advantage of them. This was a good move from King of Potatoes team. So they are pressuring due to the water spillages a little bit, and they were able to catch a closer position with that. This will require some reorganization while they are fighting for the buildings and the water tanks at the same time. So this is making the match a little bit closer, although Val still have a lot of edge in it. due to the fact that they have 12, 15, 21, 29,000 points stuck in there. So this means that they will have to be fighting for those 29,000 points when they reset. So the actual score here right now that is guaranteed is around 60,000 points. And Valhalla, on the other hand, only have 5,000 points that are up for grabs. So it would be around 60,000, 63,000 points against 115,000 guaranteed points. That being said, the momentum was shifted a little bit due to the water tanks being held a little bit and the buildings. But as long as these buildings are being fought for backend, shouldn't be an issue. And it looks like Valhalla lost control of Solar. And those were very good moves from King of Potato in terms of getting the water spillage. So they were able to shift the momentum a little bit and be able to prepare for the teleporting to be able to grab those water spillages. Up to this moment of the match, Valhalla was taking 90 to 95% of the spillages, so King of Potatoes being able to grab some of them is actually a good move for them. That being said, Valhalla at the moment is taking back some of the buildings, is probably going to shift the momentum a little bit back. As you can see, the buildings are being fought against and all turning blue again due to the fact that a lot of movement makes it's harder for you to organize and move around. You probably is going to have another rally here coming from Catzilla to also turn this building back up and try to stabilize things by having all again their buildings reset and with no water spillage, while holding the water spillage in the buildings that Valhalla doesn't control, which is why they're not fighting them. So the shift on the momentum of the match is focusing on all those buildings. Even if this match looked close, it's not as close as it seems. That doesn't mean that King of Potatoes cannot win this match, but it's still a little bit unlikely. We'll see how things will shift in terms of dynamics now at the 26-minute mark, because at the 26-minute mark more water tanks show up. And then you have people spreading thinner as well to get those points from the water tanks. That is when organization starts to be a bigger key. And it's why people were resetting closer to the end of the 26-minute mark instead of closer to the 36-minute mark, because then they were going to be able to get resets, get all the movement necessary, and then go back to get the spillage from the spillage to get the water tanks again. So Tokugawa started a rally here to get the solar power station close to the 26-minute mark, while the other things are being fought as well. Colonel Qatar just started a rally here as well to take back for No Lifer, but I think as the rally will take a lot more time to get it, No Lifer will have a full occupation here as well. So now the new water tanks are here, and as the new water tanks are here, then as you can see, since we have big clumps of water tanks right now, things are gonna be even more spread from the players. So there are going to be buildings, as you can see, that are going to be holding a very small amount of players, while most people will be fighting for the important buildings plus the water tanks. So Tokugawa was able to take with a rally here. And it seems it's gonna be most likely uncontested for the solar power station. Kono, however, is taking Virus. And Connell was able also to kick off people from the water treatment one. We are gonna have some people probably speeding him to try to hold the building to force Val to do a rally here. And Catzilla already moved to try to speed in and to kick Colonel before. He was successful. Now it's a matter of refilling the troops, plus getting joiners to get in to hold this building. No Lifer is trying to kick back Colonel from this building, however. And Val is holding some of the auxiliary buildings, especially Solar, as Solar is gonna come back soon. But King of Potatoes are doing quite decently in the water tanks. You see a lot of flipping back and forth for fighting for those water tanks. So you have some of the top players like Monroeville kicking off some other players in there. But it seems like Valhalla's presence in the water tanks tend to be a little bit higher in the participation on those water tanks. We have a few more players from their part. In this clump, however, you are evenly matched. So this is pushing the point score, the point score a lot to Val's favor, which is widening the gap, plus the buildings that they already can reset in there. They are gonna likely reset close to the 8 to 7 minute mark, because that's gonna give them time to do 2 rallies if needed in each one of those buildings. So usually it's gonna be from the 10 minutes to the 8 minute mark when they start doing that, and they will end all the resets that they have to do close to the 2 minute mark, 3 minute mark. Because that's the most efficient way to do it while having some safety measures in case it is necessary. So how they will do that? Well, usually what you would do is you would instantly relocate with some of your top players to where people are not. So if I was Valhalla, I would go for probably this building or this building from Colonel here. Maybe this top building here from Illidan as well. So it's gonna be either one of these 3 buildings. If I had to guess, it would probably be Mook's building here. Nyan, yes. Currently, the live match is only working for a few states. Those states are in the blocks that you are right now because they want to feature some of the best matches or the most interesting matches that people would watch. Not all matches. Seems like they were able to reset the treatment center again, and Catzilla was able to push back. Kono was able to take back, but No Lifer just started on our rally. And they started marching at this moment, so they will be able to take back from Kono in about probably 30 seconds or so from the marching time. And they did. They kick Kono off. And now you have a more evenly matched number of water tanks going a little bit more to the King of Potato side. Alright. Seems like Catzilla was able to get a full occupation, but then remove his troops. Have Toki here holding the building. Some people are speeding up in. Kono sped up in and reset the building in here. But Catzilla took back. So this is gonna be, seems like a back and forth on this building. Well, there are some other buildings that are being fought for that are auxiliary buildings, like Munition Factory. As Munition will give a bigger stat bonuses for some of the players that are holding it. Due to the amount of stats that you have right now on the moment of the game, this can be a little bit negligible. That being said, it's still a bonus is a bonus. It still can be the difference between winning and losing a rally. Alright, so we should see No Lifer walking very soon after the rallies are troops are getting in. People are speeding in to join that rally. Torbert also is speeding in from the top there. We will have full control from Catzilla here in 30 seconds. 1 minute for Virus to hold a Munition Factory. Seems like they're not fighting for the solar power station yet, and most of their effort are going to other buildings. Right now, there is almost full control on the water tanks from Valhalla side. Although this clump here is being held by mostly by King of Potato Sea. Seems like they are really fighting, at least at the moment, for the Munition Factory. You have a rally being started by No Name No Shame here. We would take back from Virus. I believe it is possible. It did. Seems, however, Virus is burning some of the joiners around them to be able to not allow them to have some troops. Legend is joining in with that burning. So now that they lose one of the people that are inside there, less troops as well, they are probably be able to fight back for this. Virus is probably gonna start a rally, if not just do some joining, some solos here. And the final wave of fights of tanks here to make things even spread even more thin. So this is the moment where it requires most coordination to take as many tanks as possible from each team. And some of the water tanks that are from the beginning of the game will start to deplete if they were being fought for from the beginning. And after that, it comes the resets. So this match is pretty much decided. Even if you have 15 minutes of points and they catch up with, let's say, 10,000 points in those 15 minutes, there are still too many points to be reset and fought in them. So there's very little chance here for King of Potato to turn back on right now. No Lifer is starting another rally to try to fight back for this building. It started walking, so it will hit before the full occupation, which means that probably Kana will not get a full occupation at the moment. We will get the full code for the 100 redemptions very soon. I will give out the code and I will put it on screen quietly for those that are paying attention and listening as soon as Valve starts resetting the buildings for the points. So for those that are paying attention and listening, that's when you are gonna get your code. So now that we have 13 minutes only, we will see a lot of people moving out to get some of the water tanks, and we should be starting to see in a few minutes things also move to the other sides. Colonel just reset the building again. My guess is that the resets are gonna start in around 4 minutes or so. You got a reset from a building that was held by Valve. There are not many water spillages down in the bottom left with the other treatment center. So we have 13, 18, 28, 43,000 points here up for grabs. 57 to 58,000 points for grabs. This is gonna make the gap even wider. You're gonna see a lot of teleports soon, thanks to that. No Lifer was able to kick back. Katsila was able to get a full occupation here. It seems like they started doing the resets. Tokugawa was able to do one reset here. And Valhalla moved to grab all the spillages to get the points ahead. This means if they did this, that they are gonna start to reset every single building. There is another reset here. There's your code. There are 2 more resets. They're probably gonna go for Illidan first after taking all the water spillages here. The reset down here with Colonel Katzilla did. And we're gonna have one final reset there on top for more 15,000 points. After that, we also will have some resets here in the middle. They're probably waiting for the middle to reset, for them all to move in and get the points. Because they do expect the possibility of them losing it and grabbing the points. That being said, they're trying to reinforce and not lose the center while they do that. They did the spillage on top with no lifer. Kingo Potato's team with very good reactions to try to grab some of those water spillages back. And now the only place that still have no spillages is the center. Yes, the code is correct, but it may be gone. It only had 100 redemptions. If you were not paying attention in the stream, you may have lost it. Let me know if the code is already not working, then I can remove it. It seems like all the buildings besides the center will reset, so we'll not be seeing a lot of resets anymore. Code should be gone, as we have like 26 people watching. Alright. Seems like with this, Valhalla is going to go up from 4 to 400,000 points. And now the center is up for grabs. We're seeing a lot of people trying to rally the center to get the points from the center as well. Seems like Tokugawa is holding himself so far. Only 5 minutes ago, Valhalla has control of most of the buildings. Some of the water tanks are already starting to be depleted as well, so it is going to be reducing some of the strain that it goes on the players that are overextending to do that. Oh, maybe it's an issue with that. It's an L in Lezard as well. It may be that may be the case. That being said, don't know. I'll check out. Maybe there was an issue with the code. There shouldn't be an issue with the code. Moronville was able to reset the center. The water spillages were already gathered by everyone though. Valhalla seems to be having a field trip at the end part of the match. As it's 5 minutes, they're going to be very close to 500,000 points, it seems, if this keeps up. Glad to hear now, Cyclone. Hope you were enjoying the match and the commentary. There's always some things to learn for people that are very good at playing the game. Alright, so Moroville is holding the center. He may get full occupation here at the moment. Tokugawa is already marching, so it is possible that Tokugawa can kick him off. And he did, missing 2 seconds for the match to go through. They are holding the most important buildings at the moment, but the majority of the points being gathered at the moment are from water tanks, and as water tanks get depleted, the fight gets harder and harder for them, the amount of points that they are going to get. This is likely going to be around 450,000 points though, not 500 as I said before. So Evans City is starting a rally against Tokugawa. Tokugawa will probably have an occupation before the rally goes through, because they are going to start walking in around 20 seconds, which is going to give Tokugawa time, probably by the march time, to gather it. That being said, may be a scenario where Tokugawa rallied against Moronville, and they may get in the last few seconds. They started walking right now with only 11 seconds for occupation. They are doing a double rally with 1 second of difference between them. So they might kick Tokugawa and it might be a few seconds for, but I think it might be a little bit late. Tokugawa held, got few occupation, but then was kicked off. Probably that's what's gonna happen. No, he did. Oh no. He was kicked off, and then no lifer reinforcements kicked back in the players that went in with the solos. Regardless of that, they also got points from the full occupation, so it doesn't matter. Valhalla is now holding the majority of the map. The only things that they're not holding at the moment are some of these water tanks that are small here. If you liked the video and liked my coverage, make sure to click the like button on the stream. Helps the sponsors know that you're happy about me covering the event. Help you get some more notifications whenever next time goes through, as there are always 1 or 2 codes in the stream. So it's a win-win. Seems like now people are having fun burning players. That usually happens by the end of the match. Goldie Rogers being attacked at the moment. And it seems like the match is over. Hope you guys had fun watching it. There are only a few matches still going through. Alright. I will be ending the stream very soon. You got your code. Make sure to let me know if the code was not working for some other people as well. If you enjoyed my coverage, don't forget to leave a like in the video. And if you want to catch me in any other place, this is where I usually stream. I will be covering, however, the other events as well. So, hope you guys have some good time. See you next time. I'll be covering more events during the whole Doomsday.